everybody's
Right.
locked at home, and people can't go to the gym. They can't do a lot of the things that they would normally want to do to keep themselves healthy. But you've created a really interesting gym scenario down there. We'll cut to some footage of that gym down there, and you've been able to create a really great ritual. And so, talk about morning rituals and some of the things that you're doing to stay healthy and vital.
Yeah. Well, for me, a big part of my morning is I like to do some gratitude exercises. I love to get up and do my prayer and my meditation every morning. Set your intention for the day. Really get up and get yourself in a peak resourceful state, and have some rituals. But exercise is on the top of my list. After I do my gratitude exercises, my prayer and my meditation, and take my Juice Plus supplements, and I do my my plant-based protein powder shake, and I love wheatgrass as well. I'm into that, and some of the things that you've shared with me, some of the supplements that I'm taking. Then I've created downstairs here in my home. I've got a great gym. Matter of fact, I've turned my home into a sports complex. It's so much fun here. I get up and it's like, between playing tennis and pickleball and kayaking and paddleboarding and swimming and biking and strength training 4 or 5 days a week, and it's great. And I gave up drinking 6 months ago as well. Gave up alcohol. It did not serve me.
Right.
And between that and and I was in an unhappy relationship and made some changes. And I've replaced a bad habit with a really good habit. And that is called health and vitality. That's exercise. I really enjoy it. Treat your body like a temple, not like an amusement park. I needed to shut down all that crazy drinking and all of that. It didn't serve me. I have way too much to give to the world to waste it on a bottle of booze. Bottom line. And once I made that decision and tore that list of excuses up and said, okay, that's it, I'm going to raise my standards again. It's all about standards. What level are you going to show up at in life? What level are you going to play at in life? Here's a great question to ask yourself. Would you follow you? Your daily method of operation. The level you show up at. Are you the type of person, success breeds success. And so, I really want to be that role model or that example. I've got a lot of this younger generation now in my business. I started in my 20s, and I've got these 20 and 30 years old producers, distributors in my Juice Plus team, and I'm like a father figure to them, like a role model now of somebody that's done it for the last 30 years, that's worn the shoes. To be that mentor and to pass that baton on to that next generation. And that's very rewarding.
That brings up an interesting question. So if you were to be able to talk to your 20-year-old self, like right now, you could go back in time, what advice would you give that 20-year-old with relationship to health?
John, we all think we're invincible in our 20s, right? I mean, we've all gone through the stage of, you can eat anything, drink anything, do anything, and you're bulletproof, right? I mean, I used to, before I got into whole food nutrition with Juice Plus, I'm Italian. I used to think whole food meant the whole pizza. I can eat whole pizza, but I'd still wake up the next morning and have a six-pack, right? You can eat the whole pie. That was the whole food. And but everybody realizes you get into your 30s and then into your 40s, and things start changing. Your metabolism and things that you got away with younger in life, you start to realize. So I've got a lot of 20 and 30-year-olds right now that are realizing, wow, why don't I take self-responsibility for my own health now and get into prevention and wellness. And they want fun, freedom, and flexibility, right? Having a home-based business with Juice Plus and going out there and sharing the gift of health and the gift of wealth and having that fun, freedom, and flexibility. But that 20-year-old self, I'm sure I did some damage back in my 20s, like everybody, most people. But I also had a really good work ethic. I was a hard worker, coming from nothing, starting from basically zero and building it. And there's a lot to be said for when somebody's self-made. It wasn't given to me. So I really understand the value of a dollar. You know, I don't do things that are just very crazy with with my money. And that's the other thing I will share with you. The secret to living is giving.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really giving, and I've gotten
Contribution.
very, very involved with different charities and boys, especially the Boys and Girls Club, and Make a Wish, and just so many of them. That's been. I used to say to myself when I was that broke kid sitting in the back of my mom's car, is someday if I could, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Like to be able to give more. If I could, I would. I'd like to be able to do this for my parents.
Mm-hmm.
If I could, I would.
Yeah.
I had a huge why back then when I
Mm-hmm.
started in business.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely living your purpose right now.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring, and I want to thank you for
Yeah.
the inspiration.
Yeah, thank
sure,
you,
I'm
brother.
sure our viewers right
Yeah.
now are getting inspired.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like going and starting to work out right now.
Let's go.
Throw some weights around. And the reason I brought you on was because I think that people need to see, an aspect of living a really healthy life, and what that looks like, and some of the strategies that you're using right now to keep your immune system strong. We've already talked about Juice Plus, but I'd love to just kind of, I know you're doing some saunas and you're using some ozone. Maybe you could just kind of share with the viewers like some of the tricks that you've used.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have an infrared sauna downstairs, which I truly believe in. I have an ozone machine down there. I could like to get in the steam cabinet and do the ozone treatments. Of course, a full range of different exercise equipment. And when I say full range, a lot of the stuff you can do with your own body weight. Mm-hmm. Don't make an excuse. Oh, well, Jeff, you have a gym and I don't. Mm-hmm. Like there's things called push-ups and sit-ups and lunges and squats, and you can do that with your own body weight.
Yeah.
So I got a TRX band. I mean, those aren't that expensive to buy TRX. I mean, there's things you can do.
Yeah.
But I've got that whole ritual. I told you I like to do some wheatgrass. I do my supplements. I do my shake. I don't eat late.
Mm-hmm.
My diet's really clean.
Yeah.
I chew my food. I used to inhale it, and, and just not even chew, just swallow it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I make sure that I'm in a very calm setting when I eat my food, and I chew my food, and and I ate very clean. I'm really conscious about anything that has any type of preservatives or chemical additives or GMO or hormones or antibiotics. Stay away from all of that.
Yeah.
Hydration is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Getting good rest. Diet, exercise, all of that. But some of the things that I've been privileged to that you've shared with me has been just life altering.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I come in the clinic and we do some of these different protocols that you have, I mean, I won't list them all. I mean, they can go to your website and see what you have to offer. But I mean, I talk about supercharging yourself. I come out of there just feeling amazing.
Yeah.
I wish I could get in there more often.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so not only have I been able to transform my health, my life and my health, but I've been able to keep bumping it up a notch.
Luke Wren is coming in.
Yeah.
And Luke, we may actually try to grab him for a little bit of
Yeah.
interview. He runs Life Mastery for Tony Robbins
He
out
does.
in Fiji.
Yes, he's been doing that, flying back and forth to Fiji and teaching that program as the main facilitator and like Tony's right-hand man. And listen, when you see Luke, you'll know I got my hands full in the gym with this guy. I mean, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
But you know what? You get with somebody that inspires you, right? That's going to push you, to take you to that next level. When you're lifting the weights, it's not if you're doing 10 reps, which one gives you the most growth? 11, 12, 15, not 10. Keep going. You got 5 more.
Well, with that said, Luke, he's running Tony Robbins, and I know that you've learned a lot. You went to Life Mastery back when Tony was actually running it. And then you've also done a lot of work with Brian Clemens with the Hippocrates. What types of things have you learned through those processes?
Well, with Hippocrates Health Institute over in West Palm, and I've been there several times. And there again, Juice Plus was kind of like the tip of the iceberg. It started the snowball process for me. But over there they believe in whole food nutrition as well. It's a plant-based diet. I mean, I guess you could sum it up in 3 words: eat more plants. So when you go there, number one, they shut down anything that's acidic, nothing from the outside world, right? You stop the poison, anything that's acidic to the body. Number two, you cleanse the system through colonics, through different protocols to cleanse out the colon and cleanse the body, detoxify.
If we could pause there for a second, if we go back in time, because I had never had a colonic in my life.
Who would ever have thought I'd be doing this?
And Jeff Roberti said, go to Alon Menard. Like, this guy has been doing it for, at the time, I think 10. Now it's been 40 years, but I think it was 15 years because it was a while ago. And there's no way I would have gone in there and laid on that table and let somebody, do that. If it wasn't for the fact that I knew that you had been there, and it's one of the biggest advantages that I've seen. Speak to some of the benefits of getting a colonic.
Well, come on. I'm a layman, not a doctor, but it just makes, if you step into your common sense corner. I don't know how many pounds of fecal matter people carry in their colon, but if you don't eliminate, you recirculate.
Yeah.
If you don't get that poison out.
Right.
So, somebody wakes up in the morning, they don't have a bowel movement. That's not healthy, right? I mean, you want to get that out.
Yeah.
So I've got to get my mindset right for something like that and focus on my outcome.
Right.
Not the process,
right.
but what you got to do, but how good I'm going to feel to get those toxins out of my body.
Yeah.
And that's what I learned over there at Hippocrates is not only number one, cutting out all the poison, the things that are acidic, and having and then cleansing the system. But then the third part is then putting things in that are alkaline, that are going to alkalize the body. And over there, they believe in things that are not even cooked, that have life force, that are full of enzymes. So I call it the sprout buffet. I mean, I never knew there was so many different types of sprouts you could eat.
Yeah.
But you go there the first week, you're a little grumpy, and you're detoxifying, and you're not the most pleasant person to be around the first week. But by the second week, all of a sudden things start happening.
Yeah.
You're drinking the juices, and you're doing the wheatgrass, and going through the whole program. And by the third week, you feel like you could run a marathon.
Yeah.
And the weight comes off, and you just. And to me, John, that program was attainable, but not sustainable.
Yeah.
It was more of a tune-up, and and I've picked up some great things from there that have become now habits and rituals. But I have not stayed completely on a raw food diet. But I do eat more plants.
For those viewers that are watching this, Hippocrates is a cleansing institute, right? You go there and stay there for a week or sometimes longer. And they basically control what you eat, how you eat, and they do rebounding and IVs and there's all these
all kinds of things. People go there whether they're enlightened or frightened. I was a little bit of both.
Right.
I realized that I needed to make some changes with my health, but also a little bit frightened. A lot of people go there for life. Life-threatening illness. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into any
diseases.
Yeah. And they just say, look, I'm going to. The body, basically, from what I understand, there again, I'm a layman. I'm not, I'm not a doctor like yourself, but the body's a healing organism. If you cut your finger, and if you're healthy, it'll heal itself.
Yeah.
If it doesn't heal, then you've got a problem.
Yeah.
So if I step into my common sense corner again, it just makes good sense that if I don't put things in my body that are acidic, is this going to cleanse me or clog me? Would be a good question.
I love it. Yeah.
And so if I don't put that in my body, and I've got good elimination, I'm getting the toxins out of my body, and I'm supercharging my body with good nutrition, Juice Plus, whatever it is, right? And now I'm giving my body the best chance, the best odds, to fight off and or correct, right? Because the body will heal.
Yeah.
And it's just common sense.
Yeah. And these are principles that guide my practice as well, the principle of detoxifying and some of the things that we're talking about may sound extreme to some people watching this, but when you do it and you feel how vital and clear you get, it drives you to want to repeat it and to continue that pathway. And I think you know, if people don't have a pain to purpose, you might think about like, well, how good can you feel? How clear can you get? And what that translates into, what you can do to contribute to other people, where, you know, we've already kind of covered on, like, that's where you really feel good.
Yeah.
Your life is hitting it all on all cylinders.
Yeah, and that's why I said, you know, when God gave me a second chance, and I've been blessed and I have abundance, don't let your comfort get in the way of your calling. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people, they have the success, but they don't have the fulfillment, the meaning, the purpose, the fulfillment. Doing something that counts, something that's bigger than yourself, something that's cause-oriented, you know, where you get to add value. You know, love what you do and add value to people's lives. What a great way to live. Yeah. You know, lay your head down on the pillow at night and just feel very, very fortunate, very blessed that you've been able to go out there and do something that counts.
What are some resources some of the viewers could utilize? Books they could read, or movies, or like things?
Oh, I mean, there's so many great things out there, John. I mean, you've got a resource of things. I mean, we've talked about a couple things here. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, I think it really boils down to a person's got to have the desire.
Yeah, true.
You know, deep down inside, we can give you a laundry list of here's the books, here's the things you should listen to. But, you know, I always look for somebody that has that hunger, that has that desire, you know, and a willingness. Yeah. You know, a burning desire, a willingness, and they're teachable. Yeah. And all they got to do is just plug into what you're doing. I mean, it's there. Yeah. You know, the teacher's there. If the student appears, you know, you got to say, okay, I want this. This great question to ask yourself is, what do I got to do to make my health a bigger priority in my life? Right? Yeah. And if that's a priority, if you really make that list of things that are really important to you in life, health, right? Love. I mean, there's a lot of things that, you know, you start to really think, well, what's really important? What's most important to me in my life? I did a program a few years ago called Date with Destiny with Tony.
Amazing.
And, you know, he goes through your values,
right.
You know, what's, you know, your primary question, and how to really have a compelling future, and things that are going to be emotionally charged and drive you in life.
And the Dickens process, right?
Yeah,
Where you
get the pain and showing you that. But, you know, there's a thing I teach called RPM. RPM is kind of like the RPM on your car, right? Well, the R stands for results. You know, what specific measurable results do you want from your life? Be specific. Clarity is power. You know, results driven. You know, results focused, I should say, right? Results focused. What results do you want? But the P, which is even more important, is the purpose. Reasons come first. Why do you want it? Right? The why part. What's something that's going to be emotionally charged, that'll give you that compelling future, that'll get you up early, keep you up late? You know, the purpose driven. You know, results focused, purpose driven, and then the M would stand for put together your massive action plan. You know, if you're put your map together, what is that massive action plan for you? I know what it is for me. You know what it is for you. You've got to make that decision. We can't, you know, I'm not in the business trying to convince people. You know, here it is. Now you got to want it.